Moments come alive on NBC Sports.
Sixth-ranked North Carolina, the ACC regular season champs, traveled to Durham to collide with Danny Ferry and the ninth-ranked Duke Blue Devils. Then Sports World pits middleweight contender Michael the Silk Elijah Day against Iran the Blade Barkley in a scheduled 10-round middleweight bout from New York. Then it's the final round of the Women's Kemper Open from Hawaii. Beth Daniel with a three-stroke lead. Hello, everybody. Welcome to NBC Sports. I'm Gail Gardner. A big afternoon of basketball, boxing, and golf ahead. And, you know, after yesterday's college hoop action, 5 teams can officially lay claim to NCAA tournament bids. Purdue, Cornell, Southern, Southwest Missouri State, and North Carolina A&T are the first entries in the 64-team field. Meanwhile, 3 top 20 teams were upset yesterday, 2 of them in double overtime. First of all, in Provo, 15th-ranked BYU lost to the Miners of UTEP in 2 overtimes. Final seconds of the first OT, Marty Hawes slips. He loses the handle. UTEP's Terry Stallworth comes up with it ahead to Chris Sandel, who nails it from the corner, tying the game at 74 apiece. In the second OT, UTEP by 3, 5 seconds left. Eddie Williams misses the front end of the 1-and-1. BYU with a chance to tie, but Hawes just misses from 3-point range. UTEP goes on to win 83-80. So the WAC regular season champs lose for the first time in 16 home games, and the WAC tournament begins Wednesday in Provo. Elsewhere, you know, earlier this week, Clemson beat Duke, and yesterday the Tigers went on to upset 13th-ranked Georgia Tech 97-94, also in double overtime. 19th-ranked Vanderbilt was upset by Mississippi State 73-68. Bulldogs had also beaten LSU this past week. Top 20 winners last night: Arizona, UNLV, Bradley, and Loyola Marymount. In Bradley's win over Indiana State, Hersey Hawkins 41 points, setting Missouri Valley season and tournament single game scoring records. Well, later on this afternoon on NBC, final round of the Women's Kemper Open. The veteran Beth Daniel is leading, and though she holds numerous LPGA titles, she hasn't won the last 2 years. Charlie Jones and Duke, and we will see you at the half.
Duke, North Carolina, a month and a half ago. Carolina, with 5 seconds left, trails by 1 point, 70-69. The Tar Heels' Jeff Levo takes the shot. Duke's Robert Brickey gets a piece of it, and Duke celebrates an upset win. It's a rare loss at home for North Carolina. Duke wins in the Dean Dome. Today in Cameron Indoor Stadium on the campus of Duke University, they meet again. One of basketball's most intense rivalries. Just 8 miles separate the 2 campuses, and today they close out the ACC regular season. Carolina, number 5 in the nation, seeking revenge. Duke looking for its first home-and-home sweep over their neighbors from Chapel Hill in 22 years. And to add to the emotion, it's Senior Farewell Sunday. North Carolina, once again, ACC regular season champions. Against the Duke Blue Devils, Mike Krzyzewski's Devils are trying to snap a rare 3-game losing streak. Today's game is brought to you by Miller Brewing Company, sole sponsor of the U.S. Olympic Training Centers. By Pontiac Grand Prix, the 1988 Motor Trend Car of the Year. By the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And by UPS, for overnight delivery from coast to coast, UPS runs the tightest ship in the shipping business. Cozy and noisy Cameron Indoor Stadium, the scene. The standings in the final day of the ACC regular season. North Carolina has clinched still another championship. They'll be the number 1 seed in the upcoming ACC tournament. North Carolina State has locked in the number 2 spot, even though they have a game to play. Wake Forest later today. Duke must win today to finish 3rd ahead of Georgia Tech. All 4 of those teams with 20 wins or more on their way to the NCAA tournament. Hello, everyone. Dick Henberg with Al McGuire. If you could only bottle all the energy in this indoor stadium, oh, could we go on the road and be a success. Al McGuire, in his 20 years, had to face that last day of the regular season. We have 2 coaches. Krzyzewski's teams have won 20 games 5 straight years now, but they've lost 3 games in a row going into the tournament. What do you say to your team if you're the Duke coach?
First off, I start and say, hey, this is a new season. This is our first step towards Kansas City, the Final Four. Let's keep J.R. Reed off the offensive board. Double down on him. If it's a ball on the floor, I want you to dive for the ball. You don't have to come with the ball, but you must come up with Spalding on your forehead.
All right. Krzyzewski's won has five straight 20-win seasons. That would be admirable for anyone. But Dean Smith this year has recorded his 18th consecutive 20-win season. That's a collegiate record. Dean Smith is already number one going into their tournament. Does he relax today? Can he give them a little? No, of course not.
Now, what he says, he's in there and he says, hey, listen up, give me your eyes. We haven't lost 2 games to Duke during the regular season since 1966. I don't throw any parties. I'm coaching for 27 years here. Let's stop him. If Danny Ferry gets 1 3-point shot in the 3-point area, I'll be mad at you. Don't let the student body get into this crowd. Let's win this ball game. Now get out there.
Can you see Dean Smith saying those things? Well, we're going to see 2 great players. Danny Ferry, he leads the ACC in scoring, the junior for Duke, and J.R. Reed, the solid sophomore of North Carolina. The starting lineup when we return. Carolina in blue, their 4 losses to Duke, Wake Forest, Vanderbilt, and number 1 Temple. Steve Bucknall, J.R. Reed, Scott Williams, freshman, maybe his best game, Jeff Lebo, and Kevin Madden. And for the Duke Blue Devils, they've lost 6, but 3 in a row coming into this one. Danny Ferry, Billy King, the defensive star, Robert Bricky, a great leaper. Quinn Snyder has come on very strong of late, and the senior Kevin Strickland. Paul Hausman will get the ball in play. Paparo and Frame, the other 2 officials, and Carolina gets it first. Jeff Lebo has King. Scott Williams and Ferry. Back door to Madden, and he scores. Kevin Madden. Quinn Snyder, King. This is Strickland, their best outside shooter. Ferry will take the 15-footer. Danny Ferry ties it up. He's averaging 19.4 a game. Kevin Madden warned by the official, Dick Paparo, to not let the ball drag. He was trying to slow down any possible exchange. Good give and go. Lebo can't hit. It is controlled by Bricky to Snyder. Billy King. Sky King out to Ferry. 3-point try. And Madden rebounds for North Carolina.
They got to move out on Danny Ferry. They cannot let him have that shot. I told him before the game.
Clemson, in upsetting Duke earlier in the week, used a triangle and 2 to try to stop Ferry and held him to 6 for 18. Scott Williams, and he can't hit the bucket but was fouled.
Say before the game was the set we made. I didn't speak to him, obviously. Watch Ferry get free underneath there. Nice move. Now, he doesn't move all the way out to 3-point land, and he bottoms it out from there. Nice arch on his ball.
And here's Scott Williams moving around Ferry, and Bricky came in from the weak side to help out and fouled him. Williams gives Carolina the lead 3-2. Big East battle at Syracuse, and the Panthers lead 43-36 at halftime. Williams bottoms the free throws to lead 4-2 Carolina. Just a minute gone. Ferry back out to Snyder.
Snyder has to take that shot.
Ricky left alone. No one picked him up, and it's tied at 4. Lebo has not been shooting much the last couple of weeks. Williams partially blocked, but gets it home anyway.
He's playing out of position, Dick. He's really an off guard, not a point guard. And his biggest asset is his shooting. He's an outstanding ball player.
That's Lebo on defense against Snyder now. Carolina leads 6-4. Ferry for 3. Way short. J.R. Reed on the run. Good pass to Bucknall, and Carolina, nope, charging Bucknall. No basket.
No basket here. right in, get his balance. Dick Paparo, the official, was right on top of it. Here's another angle from floor level. Beautiful bounce pass by JR. Stationary. Good call.
Well, that's a tough call. I'm not sure at all. I'm glad I'm not blowing the whistle.
Well, they're judgment calls, Dick. You know, it's like a double play, like first base umpire.
Williams is fouled by Strickland. And Scott Williams will go to the line again.
Let me tell you what I've watched here in the first 2.5 minutes of this game. There's a little bit too physical. This thing can get a little bit pushing and shoving out here. I noticed Ferry and JR bumping each other. I noticed then Williams and Strickland pushing and shoving. So these refs are going to have to blow the whistle a little bit more to keep this game in control.
Kevin Strickland comes out. He did not start at Clemson. Mike Krzyzewski's not been happy with his defense. You saw number 33, John Smith, enter the game for Duke. Williams from Hacienda Heights in Southern California misses his first free throw.
Well, the first basket of the game was a back door that Strickland turned his head on. Cost 2 points.
And Williams has his 5th point of the game, and Carolina leads 7-4.
Team wants to keep the student body out of the game. The way to do that is to get a lead.
Whistle away from the ball and a foul on John Smith. Well, Smith just into the game, and that's the same as a costly turnover.
What they're doing, Dick, out there, a lot of blind picks. That means picks from the back. Strong bumping. They're rubbing off. See what J.R. Reed is now? Watch them rub off J.R. Reed. They're trying to bump him into J.R. Reed or Williams.
Saw Mike Krzyzewski give the official a little sarcastic smile on the call against Smith. Inside to Reed. His first shot of the game is in there. J.R. Reed gives Carolina a 5-point edge with 3 minutes gone. Inside Brickey.
Brickey has the body of an NBA player, firm and strong.
Tremendous leaper is Brickey at 6'5". Inside, Bucknall, and the foul is for a block on Snyder.
JR makes a nice move here as he catches the ball. I thought there might have been a little touch on the ball there. Yeah, it was Williams that ends up getting that point. Boy, we're playing football out there, Dick. Everyone's stepping in, taking the charges. It'll be a long day for the Zebras.
Kevin Madden is at the line as Snyder commits the foul. He's an unsung player. Madden, a sophomore from Staunton, Virginia, averaging 8 points a game. Big guard, small forward, whatever, at 6'5", and an outstanding shooter.
Also, Dick, he sat out a year, so he's truly a junior. But eligibility-wise, he's only a sophomore.
So Madden completes the three-point play, and Carolina leads by a half dozen, and they drop back into a zone.
That 2-3 drops into a 1-3-1. See, now it's a 1-3-1. And it should be 3 points. Oh, got away with a walk. Showing up this time.
Away by J.R. Reed as Ferry tried to feed underneath the Brickey. Ferry is second on the team in assists, and he led the team as a 6'10" big man in assists last year. Strickland returns, and Smith goes out.
They'll start out in the baseline with a postage stamp zone, real tight, 2-3. See how tight it is? Now they'll extend it. Too slow to run out.
Three-pointer not there. They've missed 3 in a row now, has Duke, from three-point range.
King isn't paying attention to anything else but Jeff Weebo. Now Jeff is free outside.
Bucknall called for traveling. Here's a guy that is really improving, though, Bucknall from London, England. He's second on the team in assists, a solid 9-point scoring average for Dean Smith. And he has a year left. There isn't a senior that started. Ranzino Smith is the only senior that plays for Carolina, and he didn't open the game. He's been in the slump.
Defensive base, man-to-man this time. Duke is taking his time analyzing.
Snyder for 3. That's 4 straight three-pointers missed by the Devils. Lebo on the drive, and the foul is on whom? It's on number 21, Brickey. Snyder. Pete Chilka, number 32, comes in for the first time. Snyder picks up the foul, and we have our first timeout with 4.5 minutes gone. Here's the last play, and the foul was on Lebo for charging as Bricky had position. That's the second team foul on Carolina floor against Duke in this first half. North Carolina leading 12-6, and the three-point shooting for Duke has been their early problem. Smith, number 33, is in the game for the first time for Carolina.
Watch this thing dissolve to a 1-3-1. There it is. There's the 1-3-1 now.
Berry has it knocked away, and Chilcutt comes up with it. King hawking Lebo. Here's Ranzino. Snyder on him. Snyder, and then Ferry comes up with it. Nice play by Snyder on the blind side. Leaping try by Bricky, and Strickland had his foot on the baseline. Out of bounds to Carolina.
Duke does better against structured guards than they do against freelance guards. Carolina guards are almost like stand-up type guards. The ones that hurt Duke are the ones that penetrate and kick off. Both of them from North Carolina State with it.
Inside to JR. That's against Reed.
The ever-present Sky King stepped in on the blind side of JR. Boy, did he take a pop, but it was worth the foul. Watch JR, watch King step in now, right here. King comes over. See King coming over. Now here comes JR. Doesn't see him.
Boy, Reed didn't even budge. He just went right on through the shot. Body's flying. 12-6 North Carolina. 14-15 left first half. Bricky adjusts as Bucknall was there defensively. Bricky hanging and scoring. We saw that yesterday from Rod Strickland, the brilliant guard at DePaul. 6 points for Bricky. 12-8 score.
King hasn't had defensive games the last few games because I think he's trying to go too offense. You can't go both ways as a player or a coach.
Bricky commits the foul. Updating that Big East score, Pittsburgh still leading by 8 at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. J.R. Reed calmly drops in his fourth point, and it's 14-8 Tar Heels.
What we used to call a scramble egg team. They want to come in probably to scramble all over the place.
He's not happy with what's going here in the early moments of this game. Bucknall over King. Gets the bounce, and it's 16-10. First basket for Bucknall. Mass substitutions about to occur as soon as we get a whistle. In the lane is Bricky with 8. He leads Duke. Stolen, Snyder. Over Reed. Yes.
Oh, great body control. Look to the right of Reed. Reed held his ground. Beautiful move by Snyder.
These 5 men on the floor getting hot for Duke. Now we'll see if Krzyzewski changes his mind. Bucknall. 18-14 is Bucknall with a muscle basket.
Every time down, someone goes on the floor.
Inside. Gets it back. Misses the layup, and Reed with a rebound. Carolina by 4. 12 minutes plus to go. That's a double dribble against Bucknall.
And in come the scramble eggs.
Abdelnaby, Henderson, Kubek, Buckley, and Cook are in.
It's JR swinging off the baseline, getting position. Very soft shot.
Big man with a tender touch.
You're going to hustle down court to beat him, then you slide by him like that. Don't go into him. He's the China wall.
King Rice and Rick Fox, two freshmen, are sent in by Dean Smith. Cook, Kubek, Henderson. Interesting that Shevsky would make this full five-man change.
Well, what you normally do in this situation, say we're down 4. If you stay within 6, we'll leave you play for a couple of minutes. We can't let you play out there and blow the game. We'll give the starters a rest. They should pick up man-to-man when North Carolina gets the ball.
Kubek is short on the 3. Cook gets the rebound. Over Williams? No. Abdelnaby? No.
Quick slick.
Kubek stolen by Rice. And a foul on Joe Cook.
Student body wants some fouls called. What you watched out there at the beginning, Dick, was fresh legs. I used to do this when I coached, when I first started. Watch how fresh everybody in the white is. They're just pushing and shoving. They don't have the ability of the other guys, but they're just going up and down, playground basketball.
Time out. And the starters greet the reserves as they come to the bench. Carolina by 4. Our NBC colleague Bucky Waters of Busman's Holiday. The ACC report, a reflection 10 years ago. Duke in the Final Four at halftime. So hope you'll stay with us. Some of the great players, Gene Banks, Bonarco, Jaminski on that team. Denard. And Krzyzewski stays with the 5 reserves. Carolina leads 18-14, 11 and a half minutes to go. Rick Fox, the freshman, getting better with each game. Williams inside, a little short. Ooh, 2 men down. Tipped in by Madden, no basket.
The ball was in the cylinder. When the ball's in the cylinder, you cannot touch it.
That's the second basket taken away from Carolina. One on a charge, and this one on a basket violation. Boy, did Chilcutt go down hard.
Well, Scott got away. Here it is. See, the ball was still inside the cylinder when Madden went up. No basket.
Duke again, 0 for 6 from three-point range. Carolina not trying a three-pointer yet. Henderson, much taller, over King Rice to cut the lead to 2. First points for Henderson.
Extending themselves defensively right up on top of them.
Madden underneath to Chilcutt. Blocked, but a foul on Kubek.
The freshman got caught out of position. Ray Kubek. That's 1-1 now, gang.
While North Carolina has committed only 3 team fouls.
Watch the freshman get caught out of position. See him in the back?
Abdelnaby made a nice block, but Kubek was the man fouling.
Wow, that's early to be in a 1-1. There's 10 minutes and 39 seconds left.
Chilcutt averaging 6 a game. That's his first point today. He's from Utah, Alabama, the Tuscaloosa Academy.
Those scrambled eggs will probably stay in there another minute, or if North Carolina goes up 8, they'll be right out.
20-16 the score as we approach the midpoint of this first 20-minute period on the campus of Duke University. This great rivalry, Carolina against Duke. Duke playing for 3rd place and the 3rd seed in the upcoming tournament next weekend. Carolina has locked up another ACC championship.
That's an important seed, Dick, because whoever comes in 4th, Dick, takes on Maryland. And Digger Phelps told me that Maryland was the best team he faced all year.
Duke student body standing throughout, gives the second 5 a hand as the starting unit returns to the floor for the Blue Devils. That means Berry, Strickland, King, Bricky, and Snyder. Nice pass! Bricky accepts it from Berry. 10 points for Robert Bricky.
Danny Ferry, the best passing big man in college basketball.
He got the kinds of things Larry Bird used to do at Indiana State. Underneath, blocked by Snyder, who is much shorter than Bucknall. Long pass, Strickland. Can he tie it? Foul on Fox.
First of all, Ferry gets a nice pass into him by Snyder. Now watch Ferry just fan it. Automatic dunk.
Showtime feature on Dan Terry. Recall Krzyzewski described him as a big man with a guard's mind. Thinks the game well. Of course, grew up with basketball. His dad, a great player, Bob Ferry, now the general manager of the Bullets in the NBA. Strickland with a chance to tie the game.
He's kind of a low-profile personality. He is one senior that's kind of laid back, and the other senior, Billy Sky King's kind of like the master of ceremonies.
That's right. They're roommates. Strickland ties it at 20.
King hunts out Lebo.
Strickland can't steal it. Last touch by the Duke player.
Very rarely does Strickland show emotion. He showed emotion that time. He thought it was their ball out.
Well, the same kind of excitement next weekend from Greensboro, the ACC championship. And we'll have the finals for you at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Mike Krzyzewski's team trying to regain some momentum going into that ACC as well as the NCAA tournament.
Student body saying horse manure on that last call. In other words.
And Bucknell gives Carolina another chance. Williams left alone. He's short. Look at that Fox fight for it. And out of bounds to North Carolina.
Good call.
This young guy, Ulrich Rick Fox from the Bahamas, he plays tough.
Well, he dips down like he's going to snorkel, and then he skies. Watch him go up. There he goes.
6-7. Tied at 20. 9.5 to go.
6'6" King giving Lebo problems. This should be 2.
Reed misses the layup, gets it back, and a charge using the free arm against Reed. That'll be his second foul.
That brings Coach Smith off the bench and Coach K. Reed stays with it, misses the first shot. Then when he goes for the second, he muscles and gets a little physical. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion, if he was eligible, he'd be the #1 draft choice in the NBA this year.
Tough to see in that angle what he really did with that free arm.
Bucknell up on Strickland. Strickland can shoot from out there. They're laying way off King. King can have all he wants.
Bad pass. And Williams then turns it over. Keeping close watching that Big East battle, and Pittsburgh continues to lead by 11. Here we're tied at 20 with 8 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the first half.
Double stack. Going up.
Berry out there, and Williams loses it out of bounds as he lost his footing. Duke has not led in the game thus far. It's been tied at 2 and at 4, and then North Carolina took as much as a 6-point lead.
Scott went down. I think he caught someone's foot or leg on the way down.
Carolina nevertheless 5 less turnovers than Duke at this point.
Jets got to get up on him.
Three-pointer, Snyder. That's 0 for 7, but Ferry with a rebound. Ferry leading the team with over 7 a game. J.R. Reed has over 8 per game for Carolina. Reed hawking King, who goes around him, tries to set up Smith, and the ball deflects to Strickland.
They got a new clock in that last shot, so there's still 25 seconds left on the shot clock.
Duke's had the ball for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, both teams been in the drought, fortunately.
Away from the ball, a hold on Scott Williams. And that sends Duke into the 1-and-1. Three-point shooting certainly has been no factor other than a negative for Duke.
Well, they're going to keep putting them up there because if you get a hot hand from out there, you can blow a game wide open.
At the line is John Smith. Freshman, he averaged less than 2 points a game. Then last year, broke loose, hit about a 12-point average, and he's at 9 points this season.
He's an inside scoring threat. He's adequate, good in transition.
Duke leads for the first time. First point for Smith. Neither team had scored for well more than 2 minutes till that free throw.
Keep your hands out. We're both up.
Young man from Fort Washington, Maryland, hits both free throws. The Duke fans celebrate their first lead of the game. 8 minutes to go in the half. A 22-20 lead. You see Dean Smith mopping his brow and the tight jaw of Krzyzewski. Doesn't that make you want to be down there in the pit again?
No, really. When I look at Dean Smith, I think of consistency, a champion, a person that repeats over and over. When I look at Coach K, I look at a guy that looks you in the eye and tells you the right answer. You know, there's no monkey business with Coach K.
You use the expression often, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And when you talk about their mentors as they played in their collegiate years, you're talking about, well, one Hall of Famer and one future Hall of Famer. We'll give you that in a moment, as it was yesterday in DePaul and Louisville. J.R. Reed. And Perry rebounds. He had a man Snyder down court, but Lebo had drifted back defensively, so elected not to make the long pass.
On North Carolina's bench. And you don't call it. Froggy.
Dick Paparo.
He's tough.
Dean Smith showing 3 fingers as if to say that 3 times you've let them get away with a block. Perry, who is second to Lebo in free throw shooting in the ACC, that's his expression. They're using their body.
Stepping in.
And Perry gets 1 out of 2, and Duke with the ball.
Now let's watch now if the whistle changes. Sometimes after technical foul, especially on a person of Dean Smith's stature, that the refs swing the other way sometimes. Let's see if it happens.
See, Paul Gallen, the Hall of Famer, was the coach of Dean Smith at Kansas. And, of course, Bobby Knight was the coach of Krzyzewski at Army. And Scott Williams forces the turnover.
Coach K jumped up. I think Coach wants to average this thing out. He's afraid of what I'm talking about is going to happen.
Well, it was a well-planned technical, if indeed that's what happened. It cost only 1 point. Now watch Krzyzewski jump up. He's looking for the call.
Oh, come on.
Underneath. Bucknall and Madden. Tipped in, no basket. In the cylinder again. So that's 3 baskets lost by the Tar Heels. 2 on basket interference.
The ball must be completely outside the cylinder of the basket. Now watch. Now here comes your tap.
Madden, I don't know how he missed that one.
Next one. Here it is right there. The ball wasn't out.
Oh, 23-20 Duke. North Carolina, nearly a 4-minute drought. Strickland for 3. Way short, and Williams with a rebound.
Jeff might be able to score on Snyder. He's had tough luck against King.
Bucknall to Ranzino, and there's the first 3-pointer of the game, and Smith ties the score at 23, his first points.
You talk about a crunch time player. That Z is definitely crunch time.
Answering is Kevin Strickland, and Duke leads 25-23, his 6th point. 6 minutes to go in this first half. play. Strickland takes it away. Barry tips it in.
Strickland got away with a walk that time. JR intimidated him.
Danny Ferry with his 5th point. Alley-oop. Should be 2. Williams a little too strong off the glass, and at last touch Strickland going out of bounds.
Let's see if Strickland walks here. There's JR. They strip him. Now Strickland gets the ball.
And Ferry with the soft tip. He has 5 points. J.R. Reed 4 points in this first half. 2 All-ACC members. They announced that team this weekend, one of the all-conference teams. Scott Williams gets a breather.
I was surprised, Dick, that Farrell from Georgia Tech wasn't on that all-conference team.
He was on the second team.
This is what Coach Smith didn't want, the crowd in the game.
Ranzino has it knocked away. King. Madden steals it away from him. Then King bats it to Bricky. Oh, my, what a reaction play by King. He just hit it like a baseball. And the super effort by Madden to knock it away. Bucknall is fouled. Watch the presence of Billy King here as Madden slips up to knock it away.
Madden's on his afterburner, kicks it out, then King follows underneath, automatic.
Ricky with 12 points to lead all scores. A foul on Phil Henderson of Duke. And Steve Bucknall, whose favorite athlete, understandably, is a fellow Brit, the great decathlete Daley Thompson. 5 points for Bucknall. Here comes King Rice, the freshman, in, and Franzino will go out. Bucknall hitting nearly 80% of his free throws. He'll go out. And Rick Fox returns for Carolina.
Got a small team in there now, with the exception of J.R. Reed. An extremely young team.
Indeed, 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and Lebo, a junior. Carolina strong again this year, only 4 losses, and except for Ranzino, they're all back again next season, plus a recruiting class. Ricky, a little too quick on the touch pass to Ferry. So 29-25 Duke with 4.5 to go in this first half.
King reached around that time. He's caught out of position. Dan Ferry works hard offensively. Now he'll swing to the inside. The pass a little bit too low. Watch it come and go out of bounds. Just a little bit too low.
Strickland comes out, and Snyder returns for the Blue Devils. And at the line, Jeff Lebo, the conference's top free throw shooter, hitting 88%. He's missed only 10 of 83 all year. Ferry pulls it down. King. And a reach in on Lebo or Reed. Let's see who Dick Paparo has picked out. Reed, and that's his 3rd.
And Reed will come and sit down.
Scott Williams replaces J.R., who leaves with only 4 first-half points.
I thought that time King shouldn't have went for the basket. Last few games he's been trying to play offensively, and he's just probably one of the best defensive players in the country. You can't play both ways. It's impossible.
Looking for his first point of the game. And he gets back the rebound and then throws it away. So 29-25, and Carolina with a chance to cut into the Blue Devils' slender lead.
Part of the story is now King playing Lebo.
Fox underneath to Williams, and the pass goes out of bounds. Exactly 4 minutes to go in the first half, and the Blue Devils here in Durham lead the rival Tar Heels by 4. We talked about the All-ACC team, and some of them will be mentioned again next week for the Wooden Award. The 10 finalists will be announced in our telecast of the final. J.R. Reed, Danny Ferry, Charles Shackelford of State, Tom Hammonds of Georgia Tech, and Vinny Del Negro of NC State. On the second team were Jeff Lebo of Carolina, Corral of Georgia Tech, Sam Ivey of Wake Forest, Chucky Brown of NC State, and Virginia's Mel Kennedy. Ferry has already won the District Player of the Year over J.R. Reed. Two great young players. 29-25, Duke leads it. Just under 4 minutes to go. And a nice steal. Rice comes up with it. Bucknall brings it down. Bucknall for 3. Oh, yes, he's getting better. And it's a 1-point game. 9 points for Bucknall to lead Carolina.
See how far do they off, King?
Foul on Bucknall. Well, you go into the tournament and you hear it all the time. This team has a weak bench, or they're really thin, get in foul trouble or injury, you're in trouble. Not true of Carolina. They have 9 players that Dean Smith really interchanges through the course of a game.
And with no fear when he moves them in.
Tied at 77 with 3 minutes to go at Syracuse.
Figure when you're covering Ferry, if you foul him, it's almost an automatic 2 points, Dick. He's so good from the foul line.
31-28. Ferry with 7 points in the half. Neither Ferry nor J.R. Reed have been dominant in this initial 20-minute period. Rice right around Snyder. Henderson picks him up.
See how they trap Rice right away once he kills his dribble. See if it happens again. He's trap bait, there's no doubt about it, because of his size. The asset that he brings to North Carolina is that he penetrates.
Off the leg of the Duke defender, Henderson. 3 minutes to go in the half. Carolina trails by 3.
Too much. That means 2 shots and out of bounds, I think.
There was a retaliation. It appeared that Phil Henderson was holding his nose. He might have gotten belted, and he must have reacted to it. And the official saw Henderson. It's usually the second man in that gets the penalty.
And Jeff will take the 2 shots, plus they get the ball out of bounds. This happens a lot with set plays out of bounds, where everybody's shoving and pushing. Is that his first point, Dick?
It is his first point of the game. Lebo has just really gone silent offensively the last several games.
Well, as I said earlier, he doesn't belong as a point guard. He's an off guard. There's no doubt this kid out there is an All-American. Now watch in the middle here. Now they're pushing and shoving there, set for the out-of-bounds play. Now there's the elbow throw onto Jeff Lebo, which created the 2-shot foul plus the ball out.
That was a dangerous forearm to the jaw. Carolina with the ball, and a steal by Henderson to Snyder. No basket, charging on Snyder.
It was a very close call. They're right on top of it. I didn't know if Snyder got the ball out of his hands before he made contact. That ball leaves his hands before contact. No, he didn't do it.
And a consistent call. And a consistent call. They've called it that way both ends.
Good call. But see, if the ball would have left his hands before he made contact, the basket would have been good. That's a tip from the top.
You know, I'd never heard that before, too. Yeah, I'm writing it down. I'm writing that one. Yeah. Tip from the top. We are at the top. We're up in the gondola here at Duke. Carolina with another chance to tie or take the lead with a 3-pointer. Madden. Good move, and it's even at 31. 7 points for Kevin Madden.
with Fox. There he is.
Ferry.
Fox isn't big enough to cover Ferry.
Danny Ferry's 9th point. J.R. Reed with 3 fouls, sitting out a good portion of this first half. Fox over Ferry. Ferry had a piece of it there with a rebound is Kevin Madden, and he is fouled.
There's a mismatch down here, as I said earlier. Fox isn't tall enough to cover Dan. Danny gets the ball, dances around him a little bit, and just shoots over him. Plays above him.
And at the other end, Bricky picks up his 3rd personal foul. And a good hustle play by Kevin Madden. So Bricky will be rested the final minute 51 of this first half with 3. And here's Madden with a chance at his 10th point to give Carolina the lead. 34-33 on the 3-point play by Kevin Madden.
I think the last 3 minutes of this game, neither team will have their starting 5 eligible. They'll be in foul trouble.
That's Smith, well short. Tennis players call that the elbow. Rice deflected. Snyder can't save.
See, Rice creates more problems for Duke than Lebo or Z does because he penetrates in there. He's like a Del Negro. He's like a Chris Corciani. They penetrate and they get up, they make them upset.
Well, what praise Denny Crum, the Louisville coach, had for that Corciani, the freshman guard at NC State. In fact, he thought that's the best team they played this year.
But I think as his career goes on, Dick, they're going to post him up more down the lower blocks. Chris is very strong, but he's only about 5'10".
Foul is on number 31, Kevin Strickland, his 2nd. Rice, the freshman, is out. Ranzino Smith replaces him. And Greg Kubek, freshman from Clifton Park, New York, is in for Duke for Strickland. It's Kevin Madden, averaging 8 points a game. This is the front end of 1-1. And trailing by 1, here comes Duke. J.R. Reed sitting out the last 5 minutes of this first half. Ooh, good catch by Ferry.
Should come around the horn, down into the Staten Island Ferry again.
In the final minute, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Carolina's defense keeping Duke away. And a reach in on Fox as you heard the students count down to 7 seconds left on the shot clock. So Danny Ferry at the line.
Well, Duke's defense gets an awful lot of ink, and they are good, but hey, Carolina's defense is equally as good as Duke's.
Danny Ferry. His dad played 10 years in the NBA. Ferry leading the ACC conference as Snyder goes out. King back in. Here's King returning, and Ferry at the line looking for his 10th point. He's averaging 19.5.
Ferry is next year Danny Manning. You know, everyone, he'll be on the cover of Street and Smith and Sporting News and all the basketball publications.
Yeah, the senior. Trouble, a great free throw shooter. 3 for 6 against Clemson, and he's 3 for 5 today.
Might take it down for 1. No shot clock. Both teams in a 1-1. I don't like that move.
Scott Williams wide open. Gets the easy 2. 36-34. 7 for Williams.
I don't know why they did that. Why would they attack then?
Now Duke with a chance to tie. Foul. Madden. With 4 seconds remaining.
22 for North Carolina.
Second foul on that.
This is a pressure game. Well, for Dean, he doesn't want to lose twice in the regular season to Duke. He hasn't done that since 1966. That's 22 years ago.
Vic Bubas, the head coach of the Blue Devils at that time, mid-60s. They were in the Final Four, what, 3 times?
Well, Vic Bubas now is the commissioner of the Sun Belt Conference.
John Onion Smith, 3 for 3, and if he hits this free throw, he'll tie it again.
Onion, huh? Reminds me growing up in the city that every gang had a guy named Pickles.
Dances home, 36 all. Final shot for Carolina, deflected by, no, it hit the backboard, says the official. Terry's defense, and Duke gets the ball. And Dean Smith said, no, it hit Barry first. I think it did.
I personally think it did not hit the backboard, but I'm not close to the angle.
We'll see.
Dean Smith set up a
Here
set
comes
play.
the other official in. They may change the call. No, Tom Frame agrees. And so Duke will get a final shot. 4 seconds to go.
Plenty of time. Freshman's going to do it.
Kubek. And so it ends. The first half as it began with both teams even. Duke 36, North Carolina 36.
Yeah. See what happened? It came off Ferry's hand and then hit the backboard.
So it should have been out of bounds to Carolina, last touched by Duke. Well, Dean Smith, he was active. They won the ACC championship, but Smith is a fighting veteran coach today. He wants to beat the rival Blue Devils of Duke. Well, 36 all at the half, and we're going to go back 10 years to the Final Four when we return. The college. Of college basketball being brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, who invites you to come see the full line of cars and trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice. And by Schlitz Malt Liquor. No one does it like the Bull. Well, 36 all at the half, Coach, and almost as expected. These two teams are well matched, and in this intense environment, it may well come down to a final shot at the end.
It looks like that so far. I think it's going to be a wire job. What Dean Smith doesn't want is to stay behind Duke because the student body gets into it, and this is really like a confessional box here. This place is really a zoo, and I'm so hot up here, I feel like I'm in Coney Island in one of those steam baths. Do you get extra pay for this? Combat pay?
Now, let's see. Last year, you touted North Carolina all season long, and they didn't make it to the Final Four. This year, you've been rather quiet in your praise of the Tar Heels, and here they are, one of the top 5 teams in the country. Is this a Final Four Carolina team?
Yes, this is a Final Four because they didn't get the publicity they've gotten all year. The thing they got to get over is the sting that happened to them against Temple. That 19-point run is in the back of their head. It's a pink elephant. But my #1 pick for the country was the same since the beginning of the year. I don't change like those other 2 idiots from the other station. You hear me, Billy and Dick? I am telling you, I picked Purdue to win October 1st.
Okay. He has stuck with the Boilermakers, and congratulations to Gene Katie's. Boilermakers are the Big Ten champions. Coming up at halftime as we join Gail Gardner, a look back 10 years on our ACC report when Duke played Kentucky for the national title. Right after these words from your local station.
Welcome back to our studios in New York. I'm Gail Gardner. We are at halftime of our game between 6th-ranked North Carolina and 9th-ranked Duke, and they are tied up at 36 apiece. Mike Krzyzewski's Blue Devils have been ranked in the top 10 most of the season and are assured of their 5th straight NCAA tournament bid. A tremendously successful decade, but the year that may have been a precursor to that success was 1978, the year that Bill Foster took Duke to the tournament for the first time in 12 years. Bucky Waters looks back.
And this will do it for Duke. It's all over. Duke has moved to the finals. Look at him. Duke is in the final game. They have upset Notre Dame, one of the youngest teams to ever reach the semifinals. 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores on the starting team.
It's every college basketball player's dream to play in the Final Four. And as we look back at the Duke team of 10 years ago, we realize that that experience means even more to the players now. 10 years ago, they were a team of characters. Today, a different kind of character.
When I looked at the school, I didn't necessarily know who Mike Jaminski was. I didn't know who Jim Spanarkel was. I didn't know any of the players. But I really had a dream of making them a national power.
Everything happened so quickly. We weren't picked very high in the league that year, and we went from last place. It was really the basement to the penthouse.
Gibbons, a rare miss. Rebound, Banks. Big guy can handle it. Spanarkel. Oh, wow.
Tinkerbell, the future governor of Pennsylvania, hopefully someday he wants to be. At least that's what he used to say when he was in college.
And the rebound, in and out for him. Banks has the rebound for Duke. Fast break, 3-on-2, into Jaminski. He's in it. Jaminski.
We always kid him that now he can afford all the nice clothes and the nice cars, and he lives in a nice house. But we still remember when he wore only one sweater, and it was the ugliest sweater to ever be seen on national television.
I guess the thing I remember most is being a part of bringing the program back to what it had achieved in the 60s.
That's Kenny Denard, and it may be that young Duke will come unglued now. Denard off the bench. What a play by Denard.
I think I missed the camaraderie of that 78 team because it was so special. There was a lot of innocence and a lot of love and a lot of hard work.
Kenny, you were a strange one, you know, snakes, raccoons, skunks. We roomed for a while, and all these things I saw. So, but he was a very, very good human being, great person, and I'm not afraid to say that I really love the guy, even then and even now.
He's booing him on the clock, Billy. That's to keep him fresh, and also to shotgun the foul.
Spanarkel made the play, and that's Spanarkel with the ball, and he scores. That's why he's regarded as one of the top players in the country.
Jim Spanarkel, as solid a person as you could ever find, and what a joy in the open court.
But Jim was one of those fellas, he was too slow to really be an All-American, and he didn't have a body or anything, but he seemed to come through every clutch play he made because he had a brain that was binary. He just clicked, and was way ahead of the rest of the field.
Even after losing to Kentucky in the title game, great things were expected from this Duke team. However, none of the players ever achieved the individual or team success in basketball they seemed destined to attain.
We were in and out of St. Louis. It seemed, maybe it seemed only like a few hours, but it went very quickly. It was a great time, and something I think all of us will never forget. And as we look back now, I think we cherish it more and more with each passing year.
I look today at the NCAA tournament, and I see what kind of a deal it is. It's such a big deal. I look back then and say, well, maybe I missed just a little bit of this and wasn't aware of what was going on and what I was in the middle of.
I have to say, that 78 team, I really had fun doing it, and the experience, I would never trade it in for anything in the world. It was great.
I missed that year only in the fact that it was the best year of my life. I think there's a movie out, My Favorite Year, and everyone must have one. 1978 was mine.
Of course, whatever the future brings, a trip to the Final Four is an accomplishment that time never tarnishes. We will take a break, be back with more as halftime continues right after this. Stay with us. Involving St. John's center Jason Williams. Midway through the second half, Williams and Friars forward Abdul Shamsi Dean were bumping each other under the Providence basket. It was after Darrell Wright had scored. The bumping continued. They started pushing and shoving. Williams started some serious flailing. Punches were missed, but Williams was immediately ejected. Then on his way to the locker room, Williams allegedly threw a chair towards the stands. A couple of spectators claimed they were injured during the incident and filed assault charges against the 20-year-old sophomore. Now, according to the Big East's recently adopted anti-fighting policy, a player ejected must sit out the next game as well. So Williams will miss Friday's Big East tournament opener against Villanova. It is time now to return to Durham for second half action between Duke and North Carolina right after these messages from your local station.
36 all at half here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. The rivals, North Carolina and Duke of the Atlantic Coast Conference. In this game, as physical as you might expect with the intensity. These two campuses so very close and the student bodies trying to fight for bragging rights, and we had a very physical first half. They hit the floor play after play, Coach.
Well, one of the things is it's a confined gym. It's a tight gym, and it's a rivalry. Anytime there's a rivalry, it gets physical. The refs have been trying to govern it by multiple whistles. They blew the whistle forever, but they're going into the ACC tournament. Now, here's where someone could have a broken jaw, right chair. Now, that elbow could have broke Jeff Lebo's jaw, and then everybody would have been sorry, and mea culpa, mea culpa. We've got to, in some way, get better control. St. John's last night had a fight against Providence, which the audience has seen, and I'm afraid of the fans, Dick. I'm afraid of the fans. Once the fans get involved, then you can have mayhem. That happened in that soccer match in Belgium years ago against the Italians against the English. And you can have some serious things, Dick. People lose eyes and so forth.
All right. And lives, as was the case there. Well, it's just a game, hopefully, as we go ahead to the second half. Both teams are back on the court here at Duke University. We'll return with the action after these words. Half statistics, Carolina, one of the top shooting teams in the nation, 54%, hitting 50%. Three-point shots, 0 for 9 for Duke, and yet they're in a tie game. So in a way, you figure they're going to hit one of those sooner or later, that may be a positive point that Krzyzewski is using.
Positive or not, the key statistic down there is turnovers. North Carolina with 16 turnovers and still being tied at halftime. It shows you the quality of that 9-man rotation that Dean Smith has.
And J.R. Reed sitting out the last 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Kevin Madden led the Tar Heels in both points and rebounds, 10 points, 6 rebounds. Bucknall chips in with 9, his season average. And for Duke University, it was Brickey with 12 and Ferry with 10. Ferry led in rebounds with 6. And here's J.R. Reed. He needs 5 points to score 1,000 in his first 2 years at North Carolina. Phil Ford, the all-time scorer in Tar Heel history. And Sam Perkins, the only other 2 North Carolina players to score 1,000 points by their sophomore season.
And listen up to this. Billy King has held Jeff Lebo to 1 point.
Duke starts it off. Carolina's lead as big as 6 in the first half. And Duke's biggest was 4. Ferry rams it in.
J.R. Reed could not react that time. He was paralyzed with 3 personal fouls. Did not want to pick up his 4th this early.
And obviously that'll be the strategy of Krzyzewski and Duke. Go right at Reed. Williams turn around. And 3 Duke players knock it away from one another.
Ferry's active. There he is giving the blind pick. There's a switch, good switch. Now he moves back down. Constantly moving without the ball. Now when he gets the ball, right in there.
Boy, great camera work. George Finkel, our producer, and John Gonzalez directing those cameramen and women. Great job. Williams times it at 38.
Scott Williams, the potential's there. Sometimes it's shown, sometimes not.
To show you his value, Coach, they've lost 4 games, North Carolina, 3 of them when he fouled out. Another 3-point miss as Strickland can't hit, but Carolina touches it last.
J.R. Reed that time, and Williams did not communicate verbally.
Another 3-point try. Snyder gets them off the schneid.
There's King just watching the belly button of Lebo.
Lebo takes it inside to score. No whistle. 41-40 is Duke's lead.
Jeff needed that. He should start a streak now.
3 points for Lebo. King, Snyder, Berry, Rickey, and Strickland, the same starting 5 for Duke. Strickland, their best outside shooter. Back-to-back 3-pointers. So Duke going for the home run, and they're now making connection.
Carolina's going to have to extend their defense more.
Lebo again to the basket, blocked, and controlled by Snyder.
Oh, gave a Marcus Haynes dribble from the Globetrotters then.
He wants it 3 again. 3 in a row. and that's the biggest lead of the game for either team. And a foul on Snyder.
Dean won't call a timeout. It's too early. You're too close to the first commercial timeout, which comes in at 16.5 minutes. Now, Dean is thinking what happened in the Temple game where they made that run of 19 straight against them. 5 in the first half, then 14 in the second half. He's called a set play now. I look for the ball to go to JR down low.
Speaking of the TV timeout, it has to come after 4 minutes have been played. They played only 2:16 of the second half.
Yeah, okay, at the 16-minute mark, it comes in.
Ferry and Reed in a little bumping match. And the foul on Ferry.
They're bumping and grinding here, and there's a little blind pick in the back, pushing and shoving. And again, the Zebras are blowing a quick whistle. They have to. Everybody's super aware of what's happening in the fights inside college basketball. I believe the commissioners cannot handle it. I believe it has to be handled by the NCAA. Too much politics.
Good defense by Duke. Lebo can't hit the three-pointer. Strickland comes out on a 2-1 break.
Numbers are right.
Snyder with the assist. Strickland gives Duke a 9-point lead. This crowd in a frenzy. Bucknell open. Blocked by Ferry. Controlled by Strickland.
Oh, Ferry hooked him that time and pulled. It was an obvious foul. Obvious.
Wide open. Bricky.
Timeout now. There's got to be a timeout.
11 unanswered points by Duke.
Don't let your pride come into it. Here's that last fast break. Beautiful kickoff. Dean is going to call a timeout. No doubt about it.
Ricky's basket. The foul on Williams. Timeout, North Carolina. To 4, indeed, has been the scoring. Duke outscoring Carolina in this second half, and that's like giving catnip to the crazies in the Duke student body.
Yeah, it certainly is a zoo in here today. I give Dean Smith credit. That's against his philosophy to call a timeout then, but he didn't want a recurrence of the Temple thing where they got that 19 straight points.
Ricky trying to give them an 11-point run here. You just had a feeling once they hit that first one, it was going to be trouble for North Carolina.
Well, the three-point shot's a chip shot. They were 0 for 9 the first half.
Madden for 3. Bricky touched it last. By the way, Robert Bricky is 7 for 7 field goal attempts in this game.
The body of an NBA. That's thick and it's strong, and he can sky like that kid Edwards can from DePaul.
They're only 6'5". Whoops, Williams with the trouble and a push on Ferry. That'll be his second foul. Plenty of time, but Duke has a 12-point lead.
You know what time it is? It's J.R. Reed time, Dick.
Oh, he has been silent. 4 points is all for Reed.
Now, when he gets his mind set, that's a player right there. Talk about a boy in a man's body. Only a sophomore.
Ricky now is playing Reed on defense.
Just get it into JR and forget about it. Take position. Jeff hit him. Put it up. Put it up. That's it. Forget about it. Listen to the coach, will you?
Boy, you do know.
No, I don't know. I feel.
10-point lead. Reed with 6. Needs 3 more for 1,000.
Boy, Danny wants the ball back, too.
Strickland wide open. He has 13.
There's the pickup court. JR sets it. Lebo runs him off. Up. Good ball. King is so proud. King has finally learned the lesson that you can only play either all D or all O. Defense, offense. And he's a king at defense.
There's tight pressure here, and you see Lebo will dribble it off his own foot. There was no foul on the play, just King's good defense forcing the turnover. And that has been uncharacteristic of a Dean Smith team this year. This Carolina team committing way more turnovers than their normal pattern, traveling against Strickland, no basket.
It's because they don't have a true point guard. Smith last year was outstanding. I think eventually Rice will be able to do it, but not presently. The floor is wet, so let's have a slight timeout and dry it.
Let me ask you something, Coach. You've said many times that going into the tournament, a team that's going to win a championship, you need a guard, a point guard. Well, here's Carolina without one yet. You've just said that you figure they're a Final Four team.
I do. I think that Z is going to, Ranzino Smith is going to be the one. And Madden does a great job for him, but I think Ranzino Smith is the key.
54-42, Duke leads it. 4.5 minutes gone in the second half here at Duke.
Stay down low, JR.
Deflected by Snyder out of bounds. This is a helping, active Duke defense that Dean Smith is attacking.
Oh, hey, don't forget, they've been in the drought. They lost 3 games in a row. This is their last game here for the seniors, Strickland, along with King.
That's Duke that has lost their last 3 to North Carolina State, Georgia Tech, and Clemson. King, Snyder. Good move by Snyder. Now, he looks so slight. He's a fine leaper and lightning quick. 10 points for Snyder, who's playing the best ball of his career. That'll be Strickland over the back. His third. Elliot Kalb, who was our statistician much of the year, produced that halftime show today on the Reflection and did a terrific job. That his debut at NBC with a halftime show. I know he's proud. He did a good job.
He's my running mate. Last 4 or 5 weekends, we travel together between sites.
Out comes Strickland, and Phil Henderson replaces him. Meanwhile, Carolina trying to get Reed into the offense.
Just slide him down. Now they'll double team on Reed once he touches the ball.
Rick Fox in the game. Bucknall flashing across the paint to score, and he's fouled by Henderson. Fans booing. They didn't think the shot would count.
The shot was good. Now watch J.R. Reed. Every place he goes, they will double down on him. Now if he moves over to the other side, the weak side from this side, see him drop off, see? Danny drop off, Danny Ferry's drop off to get in front of him. It's constant. I would still force the ball into him.
There's so much communication, talking on defense. Good defensive teams, they've got to be talking with one another and knowing where one moves, the other takes that gap.
They're less than 10 miles away from each other, so they really know each other.
Bucknall now with a dozen points. His career high is 15. Sky King.
Oh, and he turns the ball over on a pass in by Williams.
He has only 2 points, but you can't measure his value on the scoring column. Ferry with 14. And they are celebrating.
Especially the seniors.
Another Carolina turnover. And this run started with King on the slam.
Now watch the inbound pass here. He turns around, comes back, puts his hand in front of Jeff, kicks it out, and he shows joy.
And back we go to live action, and Henderson hits. A three-pointer for Henderson, and Duke threatening to blow it open against Carolina. A 17-point game. Scott Williams has it knocked away at a foul.
He got a finger in the eye, or near the eye.
I believe that was on Bricky, and if so, it's his fourth. Oh, it's on Henderson. It's on Henderson. It's his fourth.
That should be a two-shot foul. There we are.
Duke University has outscored North Carolina in the second half. 26-9.
Just what Smith didn't want, the student body in it. They're going to have to go to the zone down the far end because J.R. Reed has 4 fouls.
Williams misses both. And Terry gets the loose ball. Everything going Duke's way. Here comes King. Snyder for 3. King Rice ahead to Bucknall. Can't save it. I don't know why Bucknall slowed down and then couldn't quite get to the ball. It was tied at halftime at 36.
They got J.R. and King now. They won't pick up the spit.
Berry over Bucknall.
No basket. No way.
Henderson. First 2 baskets, much the same, taken away from North Carolina on that play. Basket interference.
What athletes? Watch them play above the rim. Watch Henderson go up and move this ball out of bounds.
And he's just 6'4". At the other end, a miss, and Williams follows it back.
I look for some trapping now from Carolina. J.R. Reed will play off King, so he won't pick up his pick. Should be...
13 minutes to go. Terry rebound. Williams loses it out of bounds.
The break that Carolina has, being down 15 points, is they get almost 13 minutes to play, which gives them enough time to get back into this game.
Billy King goes out to a standing ovation.
I would move Jeff Lebo in right now and see if he can get a hot hand from 3-point town.
Henderson. Bill Henderson, averaging 6.5 a game, has 5 today.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Inside, Bucknall. Steve Bucknall with 14, one under his career high. Berry. And once again, it touched it last. Scott Williams, there must be 5 or 6 times today that Williams has had his hands on the ball, barely to collect it for Carolina. It's gotten away.
You know what's happening, Dick? He's trying too hard. You try too hard, you can't get it done.
Fox knocks it out of bounds. Duke's ball.
Carolina's in a nice position, Dick, because the next foul is 1-on-1 for them.
Duke with 16 fouls, North Carolina with only 2.
I get the ball to Strickland with J.R. covering them. Give it to Strickland. That's it. Should be automatic, too.
Blocked, and they'll call that dual possession.
See what happened that time. J.R. could not cover Strickland. The reason why it was blocked is that Scott Williams came in and blocked the shot.
Timeout with 11:55 remaining, and Duke in control by 15. The ACC tournament begins next week in Carolina. The conference champion will play either Clemson or Wake Forest. On Friday, that's the first round of games. North Carolina State is locked in second place. Duke and Georgia Tech battling for third. Third place team will play Virginia. Fourth place team will play Maryland. And rest of the standings in the ACC. We'll have the final game for you of the ACC tournament at 1 o'clock Eastern time next Sunday.
As they move back in Lebo, they move back in King to cover Lebo.
And next Saturday, we'll have the Southeastern Conference champion semifinal game. Reed hits it. J.R. Reed, 1 point away from 1,000. Reed again on Billy King, who is not the offensive threat. Strickland
Strickland, their first meeting, Dick, I believe, had 22 points off the Dean Dome.
Madden scores, and he is fouled. I believe Henderson got him, and for Henderson, that will be his 4th foul. Make that 5. He's out.
Berry's trying to pick down low. A lot of pushing and shoving. Now he'll feed off. One of his biggest assets. He sees the whole court. Good vision.
Henderson leaves with 6 points and 5 quick fouls. As you've said so many times, the goal now for North Carolina, thinking ahead with 5 minutes to go, they want to be in single-digit deficit.
At the 5-minute mark, they want to be below 10 points.
Madden three-pointer pulls them within 12. 11:05 to go.
Well, they have plenty of time, Dick. It's too early to play the mathematical game. They've got to cover Strickland tighter. As I said earlier, Strickland led scoring for Duke in the last game with 22 up at Chapel Hill.
Inside to Ferry, sets up Billy King. Kind of threw that one up there, and Bucknall rebounds for North Carolina. Well, they know that King is being guarded loosely by J.R. Reed.
Well, King has to give pump fakes.
Lebo really working for that shot. And Bricky gets the loose rebound, and then stolen by Madden. Boy, quick hands by Kevin Madden. Bucknall for 3.
Ooh, that was big.
He's hit 2 of them today.
That was big. You got to stop this run now. Good call, timeout by Mike.
As Carolina rallies to within 9, as Steve Bucknall, a career-high 17 that includes 2 3-pointers. North Carolina, with a spurt, has pulled to within 9 points with 10:17 to go. And as you said, you can't count them out.
Not North Carolina. They're like Rocky Marciano. They're like Joe Louis. They stalk you. They're going to go 15 rounds. They're a heavyweight.
The key, though, J.R. Reed still playing loosely with 4 fouls.
Well, not too loosely. He won't pick up a baby foul now or a feather touch. The answer, 68-57. Steal by Strickland. No basket. It was before the shot, the foul. That's only the 3rd personal foul on North Carolina. Remember, any foul that Duke commits, it's a 1-and-1. The senior, for Carolina, and he steals the ball. Intended for Bricky. Like Ranzino with a 3-point shot. Give him jam, J.R. Reed, front and back. Reed trying to work the baseline, and that one for 1,000. He joins Phil Ford and Sam Perkins, 1,000 points before the end of his sophomore year. That was a pro move, wasn't it? Yep. Phil Ford and Sam Perkins. He's in a nice class. That's the 7th race. They're thoroughbreds. 9-point game, 9 minutes plus to go. That's what I thought King would do. He went right into him on purpose. Barry made the 5th. Barry misses. Reed rebounds. Boy, Coach K is working, trying to get J.R. out of there. Scott Williams with a drive, and the foul will be on Ferry. J.R. saying, basket's good, basket's good. Oh, they are calling it good. Wow, that's a late call. And a big call. Goaltending called against Duke. Wow. J.R. kept saying the basket was good. Wow. It's Robert Bricky who made the block. See J.R. there saying, Papa, hey, that basket was good. The ball was on the way down.
No, it wasn't. Paul Hausman outside did call it good. And here's Williams looking for his 14th point.
He makes this stick, but down to a 6-point game.
Berry rebounds.
And remember, they put in Ranzino Smith.
Duke's biggest lead, 17 points.
Nice pass.
Kevin Strickland from Ferry. 17 points for Strickland.
Double down on Ferry.
And a foul is called on Lebo, and Lebo is angry, and Paparo stared at him using the elbow, says the official.
Watch when Ferry's double team down low. He'll kick the ball into Strickland. Now here comes a double team. See him coming over, 3-man arm. Now watch this pass. Strickland's absolutely free. Piece of cake.
Fourth team foul on Carolina. Duke has already committed its 7th. 8.5 to go, a 9-point lead for Duke.
Now watch if King gets the ball, he'll drive right into JR, trying to create the 5th foul. He really charged last time. Here he goes. There he goes.
Couldn't hit the layup.
Oh, JR, someone has to double.
Foul may have been on Snyder. It was for trying to clear out the path for King, and that'll be the 4th on Snyder.
This brings me back 10 years ago when I used to coach. I used to love coaching. It's a shame they couldn't pay me enough. Here we go. Drive it in there. JR, knowing he has 4, leaves him alone.
And there's Snyder trying to get the rebound, picking up his 4th foul. And he'll come out. So Henderson has already fouled out. Snyder with 4. And with a 9-point deficit staring at Carolina, it's Kevin Madden at the line.
What's going to happen, Dick? It's going to be up to the 7th, 8th, and 9th man. Come down to crunch time, the last 3 minutes. You're not going to have any of the set 5 that started. It's been too physical a ball game for that.
Here's Madden looking for his 14th point. Carolina leads the ACC in shooting and in free throw shooting. Speaking of action, in the squared circle, Elijah Day and Barkley on NBC Sports World, and then we'll go out to Hawaii for the final round of the Kemper Women's Open. Beth Daniel with a 3-shot lead. One of your favorites, Amy Alcott. She loves the game of basketball, is just 3 shots back.
Well, keep the head down in the putt, she'll be all right.
Another tip from the top. 70-63 Duke.
Can't guard you.
John Smith with Reed playing him, and a timeout called by Mike Krzyzewski. He saw something he didn't like. 7:49 to go in this game at Duke University, and the home team has a 7-point edge.
Mike created.
A great game in the Big East for the championship, in Pittsburgh winning by 1 at Syracuse. Smith. Shot clock working against, down to 2. And foul on Steve Bucknall. Oh, he was putting pressure on. He was going to force Ferry to take a wild shot, but committed the foul. His 5th, the 5th against Carolina, so it's a non-shooting foul. 3rd personal on Steve Bucknall, who's had his best scoring game as a Tar Heel. This junior from London.
Now, this isn't like pro ball. They give him a new clock, a new 45-second clock. JR thought it was a turnover. Didn't work that way, JR. Good call by the ref. Wow, Duke shooting 68%. That's hotter than hot.
They started the half 12 for 16, 75%.
Ricky hasn't missed a shot yet, has he, Dick?
8 for 8. Ricky with the ball.
And all they're thinking about, how can we get that 5th foul on JR?
Sometimes you can over-try. and go out of your game plan trying to get that one player out. And Perry with a tough jump hook. He has 16. Whistle away from the ball, and Bucknall, something wrong. Oh, it says they got an elbow, says Bucknall. There have been a lot flying both ways. Both teams have been free with the elbow today, and we've seen that on occasion.
Well, this is the referee's timeout just to settle down. I think the refs should call more timeouts on their own and settle ball plays down, benches down. The only thing that bothers me about fights is when the fans get involved. Dean's saying, hey, they're popping over there, too much elbows.
72-63, Duke leading North Carolina in this heated battle. For three, Lebo connects. 6 points for the junior guard.
Lebo seems to turn into radar as it gets near the close of the game. Remember what he did against Georgia Tech?
5 in a row from three-point range to win it. Looster playing Smith as Reed just really camping out down under the basket. Berry. Or the star players get him the ball when it's in the important moments of the game, and Berry's delivered 2 tough shots in a row and leads Duke with 18.
We call that big brother, little brother, Dick, in the trade. Gets down to under 6-7 minutes. It's all big brothers like this.
Reed and a foul. Or Reed wanted that one. And Duke's mounting foul problems continue. That one on Bricky. That'll be his 4th.
Watch JR. Bricky has a good body. Doesn't have the size of JR. Does just a simple turnaround. Keeps his eye on the rim. Doesn't drop.
Tough one to see. There was some contact before he went up with a shot. And here's J.R. Reed, 10 points today, the leading scorer for Carolina on the year, and their leading field goal percentage shooter. Herman Reed Jr. leads in blocks. He's the 3rd best in assists on the team. It's 1 out of 2, but Rick Fox with a rebound and scores. It becomes a 3-point play, and now a 5-point game. 74-69 Duke.
Big basket by the freshman.
5.5 minutes to go.
A lot of blind picks down low.
Reed really playing a one-man zone under the basket. Berry doesn't get that one. And it goes out of bounds to North Carolina. Snyder returns for the Blue Devils, the junior from the Seattle, Washington area. And Smith comes out.
Good eye contact by the refs that time. When there's indecision, the refs will blow the whistle and look at each other for eye contact. Then one will say, it's my call. Housen made that call.
Big trip down court for North Carolina. They trail by only 5 with 5 minutes to go. Down by as much as 17 in the second half.
Ricky doing a good job fronting on JR. Now he's caught. Perry moves over.
Reed can't hit the short jumper, and King rebounds.
Duke gets a lot of help from the weak side of the court. Now watch the blind picks. There's Perry, an illegal pick he put on there. Now watch the picks come from the back, not from the front.
Inside to King, and he is fouled.
Here's JR down low. He gets position. Now watch Berry come over. Plant. Now third man comes over. Strickland. Creates a difficult shot.
Now at the other end, it's Steve Bucknall who will be charged with a foul as King takes it to the hoop.
Very seldom when a man turns his back does you call blocking? You usually call charging. And Sky King turned his back that time, driving in.
Here's King with 4 points in the game, but his true measure has been when Carolina's had the ball.
Especially when Lebo has had it. Very soft foul shooter.
And he misses again. He's shooting less than 50% for the year, and in this game, 0 for 2.
Every time it's a coin flip that he steps to the foul line.
Fox underneath to Bucknall. Nice pass by the freshman to Bucknall. 76-71. What a game for Bucknall. 19 points.
Plus Fox is good, Rick. Fox is going to have a great 3 years coming up. North Carolina out there, no seniors. You might be milking the clock a little bit too much with just a 5-point lead. You're going to lose your mo. And if they take it down to the 10, they'll put up a Hail Mary shot. The college kids can't handle it. Only the pros can. Oh.
Quinn Snyder, a clutch 3. 13 for Snyder. There's Billy King with the ball again. If they gave an award to the best defensive player in the country, King would get a lot of votes.
Well, it was an MVP for this game. King should get it.
Showing up the clock as we approach the 3-minute mark. And an 8-point Duke lead. Trying to put a double whammy on their friends from Chapel Hill after beating them in the Dean Dome by 1, 70-69 in late January. Strickland from 3-point range. 20 for him. Madden into the paint. But it's 2 for 3 on that trade-off, and Duke leads by 9.
It's a master now, Dick. These next 2.5 minutes are going to take about 10 minutes to play.
And you can bet we're going to see Billy King on the line if he's playing. Duke and North Carolina college basketball being brought to you by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck, and by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. Stay tuned. NBC Sports World, big fight coming up, and then the final round of the Women's Kemper Open. So that all to follow here on NBC. After this Duke North Carolina scrap with the Blue Devils with a ball and a 9-point lead, 2:20 to go. Berry left alone. No basket. Foul whistled before he made his move. Leading scorers for Carolina: Bucknall 19, Madden 17, Williams with 13. Strickland has 20 to lead Duke. Ferry with 18.
A good foul here, but it puts Duke in the 1-1. Otherwise, it would have been an automatic 2 points.
So Ferry will have to earn the 2. He is their best free throw shooter. Rancino Smith will come in. And King Rice goes out. Well, this will be a swap that Dean Smith will make whenever he anticipates Carolina on offense. He'll hustle Rancino in, a good 3-point shooter, and then Rice more for his defense. Boy, Duke awakened from 3-point range. That's been the story of the second half. That's the 19th point for Danny Ferry, right at his average on the year. He'll be one of the finalists that will announce the 10 finalists next Sunday, the John Wooden Award for the Basketball Player of the Year.
Well, I hope he's with us in Seoul. He'll help.
Carolina can ill afford to take time.
Well, they got to try to get 3-point shots like, nope.
Bucknall, Lebo, inside to Madden. Hesitation on that jump to let the defender fly by. 19 for Kevin Madden.
Yeah, Bricky was up there. Almost got a piece of it. Trying to double team. It's hard to double team when you got JR with 4.
Both Kevin Madden and Steve Bucknall has scored career highs in this game, but J.R. Reed, with the 4 fouls, the foul trouble has really shackled him.
They can't wait any longer now. They got to foul no matter who's there, no matter how good of a foul shooter it is. Obviously, you want to hit King, but they won't give King the ball in their delay games.
And we look ahead to our ACC. It'll be our finale, but not yours. On Easter Sunday, it'll be the Al McGuire NBC NCAA basketball special. I know you've been working all season on some very interesting features and inside information. And we'll be down to the final 2, and we'll see you from Kansas City on Easter Sunday.
Oh, thanks for the plug, Dick. I tell you who's going to win and why they're going to win on prime time the next night.
Snyder, a solid game. Hits both free throws. Time runs out on North Carolina with 1:25 to go. Intercepted by King. Strickland with the ball, and that'll just about do it. They can really let it go now, the student body for Duke. Strickland, the senior, gets some frosting.
Wow, Coach K is really going. I've never seen Coach K so happy.
Lebo misses. Reed back to Lebo for another three-pointer. Boy, that barely touched the twine. It didn't even ripple. Timeout, North Carolina, but there's only a minute left, and North Carolina trails by 10. A middleweight battle on NBC Sports World. Michael Elijah Day and Iran Barkley will follow our coverage. No, we're a little late on this game, but Marv Albert and Bertie Pacheco standing by to call the action, and then we'll swing out to Kauai for the final round of the Women's Kemper Open. Top players are battling for the lead there, so stay with us on NBC. 88-78, Duke. And in this second half, they've had some eagles. They've shot some eagles. The three-point plays by Duke.
I wonder what they feed this student body. They haven't kept quiet in the last 2 hours.
Well, hundreds have stayed outside all week long just to get a ticket out in the little village, the tent village that they construct. You know, you think of everything. You should have thought of sports makeup. Think of all the money you would have made. Who would have thought it would have sold the way it has?
Nice pass.
King quickly gets rid of the ball, and Snyder is fouled by Ranzino Smith. They used 11 seconds.
Coach K's up off the bench. It's like he's winning by a point rather than winning by 10.
Yeah, this is a meaningful sweep against Dean Smith to beat Carolina twice. Executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. Coordinating producer of NBC's basketball. Today's game producer, George Finkel. Directed by John Gonzalez. Technical director, Lenny Stucker. Feature producer, Elliot Kalb. Our statistician, Dr. Dennis Enberg. North Carolina Central letting him free for a Sunday. Snyder at times has played nervously in his career, but now a junior really seems to be steadying himself and looking ahead to what should be a big senior year for him.
Well, he's out of the state of Washington. Not too many great ball players come out of that state.
17 points for Snyder. Bucknall, three-point try. His third today. He made 2 all year. He was 2 for 7 from three-point range, and Bucknall having a game to remember, although in defeat, 22 points.
You know, Dick, we might have got the audience a little bit mixed up. I always call you doctor, but you're talking about your brother, who's the statistician.
He's got the brains in the family, and a professor over at North Carolina Central, and gives us a chance to get together on these ACC visits.
I also think he has the looks.
All right, the impact of this game as the regular season of the ACC comes to an end. Coach, what are the implications from a coach's view? You told us what you would have told the teams before the game. Now, at the end of this game, as you look ahead to the ACC tournament.
Well, if I was Coach K, I'd just give a nod. I'd go into the locker room after this game and pat on the back the most valuable players, Strickland and King. Those seniors have really left Cameron in a beautiful, beautiful feeling.
That is nice to be able to finish so well as a senior, those two players. How about Dean?
Dean Smith, and Dean has a problem here. He hasn't won the ACC in 5 years, and hasn't got to the Final Four in 5 years. Now, he knows he got a good team. He's got to say, hey, Come on, let's suck it up. Let's get ready. We won the conference. We are number one. Let's prove it next week, and let's win the ACC and move into the NCAA, the big dance, the way we should.
Well, there's no question the top 4 teams in this conference are headed toward the National Collegiate Championship Tournament. North Carolina, North Carolina State, Duke, and Georgia Tech. But that ACC tournament, although all it can do is produce a surprise, say if one of the other 4 bottom teams should win, then they get in the tournament. Other than that, it doesn't have the glow that it did 20 years ago, but it's still the toughest ticket in the South. You can't get a ticket.
There was an ad in the paper today. I read $500 for a set of tickets for the ACC tournament. I believe, and again, I guess all these commissioners and coaches get a little bit annoyed with me. I believe that no more than 4 teams should be allowed in the NCAA tournament from any conference. Now, that brings life back into the postseason conference tournament.
Snyder now with 19. In other words, should a Maryland or a Clemson or a Wake or Virginia win the tournament, then one of the 4 teams you've mentioned at the top wouldn't go under your proposal.
Yes, the automatic winner would go North Carolina. It'd be between Georgia Tech and Duke who wouldn't go.
Branzino trying the three-pointer. Ball kicked around, goes to Lebo. Bucknall, he's hit 3 three-pointers. Misses this one. 15 seconds. Strickland fouled by Matthews. Well, 2 great programs, Duke and Dean Smith's North Carolina team. 18 straight years that he's won 20, a collegiate record. And you know, he doesn't stop there. 15 times in his career, he has coached a team that's won 25 games and could do it again this year.
Also fought back to gold in Montreal in 1976.
Now the moment for the seniors, King and Strickland, their last game, and the final salute by their student body friends.
He's got a nice smile, Dick.
Strickland and Billy King. Well, it's all around the country. Such an emotional moment. Steve Kerr at Arizona last night, watching him his last home game at Tucson. It is wonderful drama. Strickland's 23rd point of the game. That's 5 under his all-time high, so he's had one of his best games ever in his last at home.
And that's 1 more than he got against North Carolina up at Chapel Hill when they beat him earlier in the season by 1 point.
And Strickland now will come out to the embraces of his teammates. Denny misses the jump shot as North Carolina uses some of their reserves now. Snyder all the way. When Snyder equals his career high 21, and Duke has won convincingly 96-81. Only the 5th loss for North Carolina, and 2 of them have been thumpings, Temple and now Duke. And of all the painful losses, none hurt more than when it's your top rival, and Duke has handed the punishment today. Top scorers, Snyder, 21, Strickland with 24 for Duke. Mike Krzyzewski's team goes to the tournament a winner.
County, Robert Brickey from a standstill position goes up and jams. Air Brickey with 17 for Duke. Game tied 36 at intermission. Second half, Duke seniors let loose. Kevin Strickland, game high 24. North Carolina did close in, but the other Duke senior, Billy King, comes up with 4 steals. Strickland 3 steals. Duke drops North Carolina 96-81 to end the regular season.
I think Dean's done a great job with his team this year in having him play at such a high level, because I think they've played the toughest schedule, and to win the league by at least 1 game, maybe 2, they've done a terrific job.
I think they've beaten anybody in the country today. After those 3 straight losses, they really took it all out on us the second half.
Now the second ACC game yesterday.